back to the mat, season 12. My name is Kat, and I am a Nesta Sports Certified Yoga Instructor. Today we're going to work on downward facing dog, Adho Savasana. And if you will, please roll out your mat and join me. We're going to start in child's pose, which we learned in the previous video. So to get into child's pose, you can start by coming down into tabletop, which means that you're on all fours and that you have a flat back. You're going to spread your legs so that they're on the corner edges of the mat and reach your buttocks all the way back to your heels. Stretch your arms in front of you as you bring your forehead to the ground. The next thing we want to do is we want to check our wrists and our palms. We want to make sure that our fingers are touching the mat, our palms are touching the mat, our fingers are spread wide, and they are pushing into the mat. We don't want to place a lot of emphasis or weight on the wrist itself. It wants to be the palm and the fingers that are spread. So now I want you to go ahead and bring your knees in, lift up a little bit, bring your knees in just about a 1/4 inch or so on each side. And now what I want you to do is go back down into child's pose and feel that stretch. So there's a difference between when our legs are wide apart and then when we're sitting on our buttocks and our knees are a little bit more in. I want you to do that one more time. Put your knees out to the outer edges of your mat and sit back and feel that. You should feel that in your lower back, and you should feel that on your thighs as well as you're pressing back down onto your thighs. Just feel that release for a moment. And now inch your way back up. Bring your legs in a little and go back down. And rest your head as close as you can to your mat. You can always use a pillow, a bolster, or a block if you'd like. And now what I would like you to do is go ahead and push back up on the tabletop. I want you to curl your toes under, press your hips up to the sky, and put your head down towards the mat so you're in an inverted V. Now, for some of you, your feet may touch the mat or they may come off the mat. That doesn't really matter. What matters is that we are making that inverted V. So remember, with the alignment with your hands, your palms are down into the mat, your index finger, your knuckles should be pressing firmly into the mat. You should have a feeling as if you have a pickle jar in each of your hands, and you're turning with your right hand clockwise and your left hand counterclockwise, but you're not lifting your hands off the mat. In the back end, you should feel your toes pressing firmly into the mat. You should be able to lift them up, spread them, and place them back down again. And then with your heels, you are pressing as if towards the floor or the wall behind you. So you should feel this in all of your back and all of your calf muscles, all the way down your leg, through your ankles, through your heels. And you are in a V shape. So if I was to look at you from the side, you would look like the letter V inverted. So this is downward facing dog. This pose is an essential pose in yoga. We use this as we're transitioning through after our warm-up into almost every asana. Every pose that we do usually incorporates at least 1, 2, or 3 downward facing dogs. So you'll remember this one. This is like coming home in yoga. This is your stretch of yoga that you know you are practicing. You are on your mat and you are doing your thing. Downward facing dog, Adho Savasana. To come out, you just come back down like that. Normally we would move through another pose, such as lifting our legs and then maybe doing our leg lifts, some Pilates mix into that, and then incorporating it into Warrior 1, 2, and 3, which are other poses that we will get into separately in different videos. So for today, we are going to talk more about Baron Baptiste and his book, and we're going to talk about the journey into power. And we're going to go into the next chapter, and that's going to start with a little bit of breath work. So I'm going to read to you from Journey into Power. Breath. Your breath is key to unlocking your body's potential. Maintaining steady, rhythmic breathing is the single most important element of yoga practice. Your breath is what links your mind to your body and your present moment. As you become skillful at matching your breath to your movements, the two will no longer feel separate, but rather one thread that carries you through the fabric of your practice. Your breath is pure, raw energy that sweeps through you like a cleansing wind. It carries prana, or life force, to every molecule in your being. With every inhalation, you literally bring new life into your body. With every exhalation, you clean house. Through matching and mirroring your movements with your breath, you peel away layers of resistance. Your breath is what sustains you at your edge and allows you to move past it into a new mental, emotional, and physical frontier. In this way, you are meeting inner resistance with a neutralizing force. If you can stay calm and breathe through your pose, that layer of resistance dissolves. I'm going to stop there for a second. That is really important, that we concentrate on learning our breath work and not so much about on the alignment of the pose or what Sally or Jane is doing next to me. I need to go inward with my breath, and once I master my breath, the pose just comes to you naturally. After you're practicing for quite a while, you're doing the breath work, you're doing the posture, you're concentrating internally, not paying attention to what's going on around you other than listening to your instructor. And over time, by learning how to breathe properly, the posture just seems to suddenly surface and come to you. And then the two are intertwined. The breath that we use for asana practice is called Ujjayi breathing. The Ujjayi breath is an audible breath that has a soothing, rhythmic, oceanic quality. You'll hear me talk about that a lot. It is done by contracting the whispering muscles in your throat to create a long, hair-thin breath. You do not breathe all the way down into your abdomen, but rather into your chest, lungs, and back. In fact, if you breathe into your belly, your power is lost. Here's a step-by-step breakdown of how to do it. Bring your first or second finger to the soft spot between your collarbones. With your mouth closed, breathe in through your nose, feeling the gentle retraction of those muscles beneath your finger. It should feel as though you're whispering in reverse. So we'll try that again. You are closing the airways a little, so it's kind of like breathing through a straw. Imagine breathing as a cleansing wind sweeping right in through that soft spot at the base of your throat. So we'll do that again. So we imagine it at the soft spot on our throat as we're breathing in through the nose with our mouth closed. For the exhalation, put your hand in front of your face as if it was a mirror. Gently retract your belly, and with your mouth closed and the muscles in your throat still contracted, exhale through your nose as if you were going to fog up the mirror. The exhalation is exaggerated and extended. It is important to keep your mouth closed or you will lose the energy on the exhalation. Do it from a side angle. It's exaggerated. You can hear it. It sounds more than it normally would. Okay, so again, starting from the beginning, place your first or second finger on your collarbone, soft spot. Breathe, shut your mouth, breathe in. Breathe out, fog the mirror, fog the mirror. Soft spot. And it's exaggerated. You're getting it out completely. You're inhaling completely. You're teaching yourself how to breathe. You're training yourself in that breath work. That's the Ujjayi breathing. In, out, deep and free. Rhythmic and steady. So that's what he talks about with breathing for that chapter 2. And then he talks about heat. If you try to reshape cold glass, it will shatter. Heat it and you can form it. Bend it and shape it any way you want. Your body is just the same. Heat it and it becomes pliable. Muscular motion creates heat that softens your tissue and makes you malleable. The strong flow of power yoga fuels the inner furnace and fans the fire throughout your practice. The combination of motion and breath builds what I call heat, the kind of heat that melts away tension and accomplishes decades of growth and release within days. Tension, after all, is just stuck energy. When you start the internal heat moving, all that does not belong gets burned away. All the resistance is consumed by the intensity of your internal flame. A hot room can boost the purifying fire. So at the studio, sometimes it could be 90 degrees to help students build and maintain a liquid quality to their movements. The heat also helps you sweat. Sweating is one of the most important mechanisms of natural healing, since it enables the body to release toxins, metabolic debris, and excess fluids. It also gives the liver and kidneys some much needed rest, because their usual burden of detoxifying and purifying the blood is lessened. The skin is the largest elimination organ of the human body, and the more you sweat, the more toxins you release. Besides, it feels so good to just let the sweat pour out of you. American Indians consider purification of the body inseparable from purification of the spirit. They have used the sweat lodge's powerful process of physical and spiritual regeneration for thousands of years. Barron says he's experienced firsthand the transformative power of the ritual. A great Lakota elder leads our boot camp participants through a powerful prayer sweat in the mountains of Montana, during which many of them receive profound insights and have life-changing experiences. At first, you may not like the heat. It may feel uncomfortable. But pretty soon the purifying power of it hits you. It feels so good, you wonder how you could practice without it. When he does his workshops where he can't heat the room, the students that are used to the heat always say that their movements feel less fluid in the cold room. They feel stiffer and less able to move deeply into the poses, and they realize how that heat had softened them. So when you do your practice at home, try to do it in the warmest room you have. If you have a room in which you can raise the temperature, or at least turn off the air conditioner or close the windows, maintain the flow of practices to sustain your inner heat, which will help avoid injury and allow you to go further into your poses. Next part he talks about is flow. In power yoga, each pose flows right into the next. You're taking your body through multiple motions, angles, and planes, and channeling all of your energy into the synchronized symphony. It is a beautiful melding of fluid and flexible strength, mental focus, deep breathing, and stability in motion. Flow is the absence of resistance. When you bring flow into your practice, you let go into the movements and create a liquid quality that inspires deep release. It allows you to build magnificent momentum and heat and move through your practice in effortless, seamless manner. When you ride the flow like a wave, it moves you out of your head and into your body and into the present moment. So that's what we talked about last week, and a few episodes ago also, about present moment. Drishti. Drishti means gaze or focal point. In yoga practice, it means fusing your eyes to one point. The focus sends soothing messages to the nervous system and brings the mind from distraction to direction. The eyes are lenses of the mind, and with drishti, you are focusing your consciousness. Drishti allows you to slow your mind and engage more deeply into your practice. It's very simple to do. At the beginning of every pose, relax your eyes and set them on a fixed point. Usually I tell my students a fixed point in front of you, something that you can see that you're comfortable, you're not cricking your neck, you're not looking down or up, it's just in front of you. Part of drishti is sadhamahai, which embodies neutral vision. Sama means even or neutral, and dai means vision or seeing. Neutral vision means to see without judgment, without ego, without impatience. Sadhamahai is to see through a clear lens rather than viewing your experience through the rearview mirror of your past perceptions. Cultivating sadhamahai on your mat will help you bring the quality into your mind, into your everyday life. So we'll stop there for today. When we talk about sadhamahai, we talk again, internal focus. Don't concentrate on what you did yesterday and your progress into today. Concentrate internally on what's going on now and how we can work on our breath work. And once we get that with the momentum of the flow, it naturally comes together. And you have to experience that on your own. It comes to everybody at a different point. From my experience, I would say about 12 weeks into practicing yoga, you will finally get that aha moment where you go, because it becomes easier and it comes to you naturally. And then you get this elevation, this spiritual wellness, good feeling inside, and that motivates you to continue in your practice. I'll leave you with those positive thoughts for today, and I thank you for joining us here on the mat. We look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Thank you. Namaste.